This is a video by Richpin. Today we're working on a Jeep Grand Cherokee. This happens to be a 1995 model, and it's exhibiting transmission symptoms. The transmission is not shifting correctly, and it is very sluggish from a stop, like it's starting in second gear. And the OD light is on the dash. The little button that says OD, the light is on. So we're going to retrieve the codes and see what the problem is. Now, to retrieve the codes from the OD light, turn the key to the start position and then off, start position, then off, and then start position. And then count the flashes that the OD light will flash. On this vehicle, it flashed 21, code 21. And that's a problem with the pressure solenoid. So we're going to replace the governor pressure solenoid and the pressure sensor. Now, the first thing you want to do is get your vehicle up in the air, preferably on ramps, and get a container underneath the transmission because you're going to be dropping the pan and you want to catch the fluid. Next, you want to remove the negative battery cable from the battery. You want to start by removing all the bolts on the pan except these four ones here in the front, and then slowly loosen these front bolts till all the fluid is drained, and then you can remove the pan. Now, once the pan is out of the way, we can remove the filter. It's held on by 3 of these T25 bolts. Need to remove those. A little more fluid. And there's the filter, all out. Next, we need to take the governor body out of the way, which is this piece right here. It's held on by 2 T25 headed bolts and 1, 2, 3, 4 11mm head bolts. Now, before you remove the bolts, you need to remove this electrical connector from the pressure solenoid and this connector from the sensor, pressure sensor. Now, in my case, it had a plastic sleeve around it, and the sleeve was very brittle. If yours comes off, that's fine, but this one's been on here about 14 years, and it needed to be cut very carefully, and then you can remove that little sleeve. Now, once the sleeve is removed, you want to pull back on the connector, and what you want to do is you want to look inside the connector and see how many pins it has before you go down and buy this part. Some have 3, some have 4. And you want to look right in there and count your pins. This one looks like it's the 3-pin one. A lot of these 3-pin ones can only be got at the dealer, so be aware of that. Okay, once you've got all the bolts out, Be careful of the gasket. And there's the whole assembly out. Once you've got the assembly on the bench, you can start disassembling it. Take this bracket right here, just slide it off. Now you can take your trusty panel remover and pry gently up on the solenoid. And that will pop it right out. Now we can flip it over. Now there is a little clip right in here that holds the sensor in. Take a small screwdriver and just pry up. Remove that little clip. And then the sensor will just come right out. There it is, all disassembled. Now when you put your new parts in, make sure you put some ATF on the O-ring and slide your sensor in place and put the little clip in there to hold it in place. And flip it over, put your solenoid back in place. Make sure you put some ATF on the O-ring and slide your bracket in place. Now it's just a matter of putting it back in place, put the fluid in, put your new filter on, and hopefully that cured your transmission problems. So that's all it takes to replacing the solenoid and the sensor in your Jeep Grand Cherokee.